The Antichrist models himself as a substitute Christ. As far as I can see, if it weren't for Jesus doing what he did, there would not be an alternative. Antichrist means alternative Christ. It's like antipasto. Antipasto is what you put beside the pasto, beside the plate. You have your meat, you have your pasta, you have antipasto for the vegetables. I have Italian blood. Apparently not as much as I thought I did. And the Antichrist will gather people to himself, just as Jesus gathered people to himself. Jesus' intention was to help the people. He was offering something of value. The Antichrist gathers people together over popularity, or will gather people together over popularity. People will worship the Antichrist because that's what he wants for himself. Jesus wanted to bring people to God. You know, it wasn't easy. It wasn't supposed to be a walk through the garden. It was supposed to be tough, which is why a lot of people said, I don't want Jesus. And most people don't want Jesus. They don't want Jesus. And there's all this deception because of this big fame that Jesus has, because he was serving people and trying to glorify his God. God also glorified him. The Antichrist is doing for himself and for Satan, because Satan is glorifying the Antichrist, or will glorify the Antichrist. The Antichrist is modeling himself after Jesus. If there were no Jesus, but theoretically there would be no Antichrist. It might be something different, but that's the way it's gone. That Jesus was the example for the Antichrist to do the exact opposite of Jesus, but to gather people to him. And they will listen to the Antichrist. The Antichrist says, you don't like Jesus? Because a lot of people say, oh, I'm a Christian, but you say, do you love Jesus? Oh yeah, I love Jesus. You know, it's either a testimony that they love Jesus when their behavior does not back it up, or there is a denial. Oh, yeah, whatever. You know, I'm a Christian. I don't answer that question. The Antichrist wants people under him. Jesus had authority over the disciples and still does. But what Jesus said was, he had authority over the disciples because of who he was. The Antichrist has authority over his disciples. As Jesus said, the whole world is under the authority of the evil one, or under the power of the evil one. They're under the power of the evil one. You know, you go north, south, east, or west, you won't find many Christians. Solomon said, I found one man in 1,000. One man in 1,000. But Jesus said, I was hungry and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me nothing to drink. And the attitude is, well, what do we do? Well, where do we see you hungry or thirsty or in prison? Where do we do this? And Jesus judges based on what people did not do. People will say you're saved by faith. You don't have to do anything. If you do something, good, that's condemnable. No, no. If Jesus went about doing good and he is our example, that means we need to do good. Our victory, I don't believe it's salvation. You can look it up. Look up Jesus, what his name means. It's from Hebrew. It's Joshua in the Hebrew. What does Joshua mean? What did Joshua do? What did Jesus do? Jesus said, you did not do these things for me. And he said, the wicked will go into divine punishment. It's not eternal, because everything's eternal. The wicked will go away into divine punishment, the righteous to divine life. The righteous to divine life. What differentiates the two? I was hungry, you gave me nothing to drink. I was thirsty, you gave me nothing. I was hungry, you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, you gave me nothing to drink. Needing clothes, and you did not clothe me. There's a lot of people say, oh, we help the poor. We help all these poor people. Are they Christians? Are you specifically doing what's right to Christians? Are you saying, oh, he's a man from which we turn our faces? As they said with Jesus, as a man from whom people cover their faces. We despised him and did not esteem him. Even after all he'd done. But him who takes the mark will receive the fire of judgment. And that's coming. I don't believe they'll do the whole thing. Not yet. That will be postponed. Daniel says he tries to change times and decrees. That word laws in the Hebrew is decrees. He will try to change times and decrees. There is a decreed time for the Antichrist, a decreed time for this stuff. Apparently they will cut off the heads in this time, but it'll be a long time before the Antichrist sets up his horrible reign and God judges the people. You know, as it says, they spilt the blood of the prophets and of the saints in Revelation. They spilt the blood of the prophets and of the saints, and you gave them blood to drink. Yes, Yah, for they are worthy. It's not that we're justified by what we do, but Paul said, it is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. Paul doesn't live anymore. It's the faith that brought him to act like Jesus. It's the same faith in me that causes me to act like Jesus. Paul said, I worked harder than them all, not I, but the Spirit of God in me. But it comes back to the same thing. You know, you have to do something as a Christian. The Antichrist will model himself after the Christ, and most people, including in the United States, including in Britain, including in Australia, including in India, if people are watching from India, including in Canada, they will follow the Christ, the Antichrist. They will follow the Antichrist. But Jesus' judgment is, what did you do for me? And they said, we don't know. What do you mean we didn't see you anywhere? We were around after you left. We were here before you came. What do you mean? What did we do for you? And he said, as much as you have not done it to what you didn't do, what you've not done, as much as you've not done it to the least of these, my brothers. Not anybody, not just a poor person. You know, you say, well, I'm gonna go to heaven or whatever. That's what people say. I'm gonna go to paradise, have some rice, put it in a bowl, give it to this poor boy or poor girl in some poor country. I'm going to heaven. But again, Jesus said, whoever offers a glass of cold water in my name will certainly not lose his reward. In my name. He who receives a prophet in the name of a prophet will receive a prophet's reward. The danger is in what we don't do. The danger is in not going to Christ. The danger is not saying, that's Jesus over there. Somebody literally kicked around, or physically, or figuratively kicked around. That's Jesus over there. What am I doing for him? Does he need clothes? Does he need food? Does he need water? Drink? What am I doing for him? That's the deception. People think, well, I give to this agency. I give to these people that give to the poor. The least of these, my brothers.